Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. As I promised you in my last video, today I'll be testing out the brand new 177 slugs from H&N. H&N has produced them in 3 different weight classes: the 13, the 16 and the 20 grainers. And the ones that I'll be testing out today are the 13 and the 16 grainers. First impressions of the slugs is that they are extremely well made. They have a very smooth surface, which you can't say about all slugs. Weighing them, they have a very consistent weight. The 13 grainers is within like 3 milligrams and the 16 grainers are within 8 milligrams. And this tells me that the manufacturing process of the slugs are very high, but this is what you would expect from a company like H&N. I'll be testing the slugs at my usual 3 distances: 34, 75 and 100 meters. And the gun that I'll be using for the test is my trusty FX Impact M3. Internally it's pretty standard. The only thing that I've changed is the pin probe, and there's a carbon liner barrel sleeve on the inside of the barrel, so that's about it. Apart from that, I have the dual bottle system from Saber Tactical. I have other different parts from Saber Tactical on it, and I have the Elements Optic Titan on top. What you see out here is my crony, and I've attached this carbon fiber pole. I think it looks pretty spectacular because I did it myself, of course. But anyway, let's get into the testing. I started out a few days ago at 34 meters back in my backyard, and I decided to start at about 880 feet per second and then work myself up click by click on the power wheel to see what the groups look like on the way up. Because there's a lot of shots to be shot, I decided not to have myself in the picture, but just filming the target and then speeding up the process so that the video is not gonna take all day. But here it is, H&N 13 grains at 34 meters. As you could see in the test, the best groupings was at 889 feet per second. And as the velocity got higher, the group started to spread. But the best group was, as I said, at just short of 890 feet per second. So I can make a verdict. What do I think about the 13 grainers? I think there's definitely something to work on here. But if you want to shoot your slugs at below 900, that might be the slug for you. But I have to compare the slugs to what I usually shoot in that weight range, and that is the NSA 12.5, the SAN 13 grainers, which I, by the way, love more than life itself. Maybe not that much, but they're really good. And of course the JSP knockouts in the 13.43 grain. All these slugs can be shot at very high accuracy at around 980 feet per second. So why would I choose a slug that has the accuracy at 890, like 90 feet per second lower than what I usually shoot? So that's a reason why the test of the 13 grainers didn't come as far as here to the forest. So I just tested them at the 34 meters. Next up is the 16 grainers at 34 meters, and I tested them in the exact same way, starting them at around 880 feet per second and then working myself up. I was expecting them to group well around 930 and 950, so I knew that I was not even gonna go close to 1,000 feet per second. But anyway, this is how it went. So as you can see, the best grouping at close to 11 millimeters was at 907 feet per second. And that is pretty decent, I would say, but just turning the hammer a little down or a little up, you'd see a huge spread in the groups. So I thought, what to do? And then I remembered that I have a 700 millimeter mounted on my Wildcat, so I switched the barrels, and some of you might have noticed that it is actually the 600 millimeter liner that is on here now. I forgot to mention that the other tests at 13 and 16 grains was done with the standard 600 millimeter liner. But I mounted the 700 millimeter liner, and this is what happened. And what a spectacular group. So just to be sure that it wasn't a freak coincidence, I went and did this. And as you can see, the group is quite similar to the one that I shot in the first attempt. So after this, I decided to leave the 700 millimeter line on and take the gun into the forest and start the shooting at 75 meters. And this is how that test went. Not bad at all. Let's go check it out. And as you can see here and here, it is a just past 2 centimeter group, which is very respectable at 75 meters, I think. Of course, I've shot it better and I've shot worse, but since it's the first time that I have the 16 grainers in the forest here at 75 meters, I think it's pretty respectable. So then I moved the whole setup out to 100 meters, and this happened. There are 4 that are okay and 1 that kind of got away, but let's go measure it up. And as you can see it here, or here once again, it's a 5 centimeter group at 100 meters. I can't say that I'm too impressed by a 5 centimeter group, and especially not if I'm taking a 16 grain slug when I usually shoot around 13 grains. Then I expect the groupings to be just a little better. I know that going into the forest with a new type of ammunition, you can't really expect it to perform all that well. But just mentioning, the first time that I took my 13 grains sands into the forest here, on this distance, 100 meters, I shot a 3 centimeter group, and a 5 centimeter group from a 16 grain, that's not good enough. So that brings me to the final conclusion of the new slugs from H&N. Well, the 13 grainers, there's a lot of potential around these 890 feet per second, but as I said, that's not for me. So if you're looking for an accurate ammunition shooting about that velocity, maybe that's the slug that you should go for. The 16 grainers, well, I also said that well, on 75 meters it's okay, and 100 meters, it's not bad, but it's not okay. So am I gonna continue using any of these slugs? No. And on top of that, I will say that I have never ever tested slugs that I have been shooting so many shots with. I think for this test I've shot maybe 700 shots, and just recently when I tested the sands, I think I might have shot maybe 200-300. So this has been very challenging, and shooting these slugs, it has not been a pleasure. So no, I'm not gonna shoot them again. Slugs likes different barrels, and I'm shooting the FX Impact. If you shoot another brand, your barrel might like them, but this is my verdict from the 13 and 16 grains, is that I don't want to buy them again. So yeah, with that said, that's about the end of the video. At the end of the video here, I would like to promote a Facebook page. It's called FX 177 Owners, and it's currently a very small group, but it's right down my alley since I'm shooting FX 177. So go and find it on Facebook and apply for a membership. But with that said, that's the end of today's test. If you have experiences you want to share them in the comment section below, and remember to like and subscribe to this channel. So with that said, take care and shoot safe.